You know, this ice cream might be boozy. It tastes pretty good. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Robin from This Blog's Neat. And after I did the 4 different peach wine fermentations using the reject peaches from the farmer's market and 4 different yeasts, I had a bunch of leftovers after I re-racked those wines. So I fermented all 4 of them on fruit, which I don't think is actually a term, but I'm pulling it from brewing, fermenting on grain, right? I fermented with the fruits in the juices. And as fermentation proceeded and started to slow down, I then strained out all those fruits and any of the other solids that were in the wine. So usually that's kind of like dead yeast that have settled out of solution. This is what I'm referring to as LEES. And usually LEES is referred to the solids and semi-solids left in the bottom of the fermenter during wine fermentations. So my reject peach wine LEES just has a bunch of fermented peaches mixed in. So I saved all that. I didn't want to waste it. I wanted to do something with it. And as I was scouring the internet for various recipes, which there are not a lot of, there's a lot more for using spent grains than there are for using spent fruits. But I did stumble across a paper that was published in LWT Food Science and Technology in 2009. This paper was titled Grape Wine LEES Improves the Rheological and Adds Antioxidant Properties to Ice Cream. And that's why I made ice cream. I just skimmed through the paper and honestly read the abstract. But essentially they used 3 different amounts of wine LEES in this ice cream mixture that they made. They used 50, 100, and 150 grams per kilogram of ice cream. So that's essentially 5, 10, and 15 weight percent LEES in the ice cream. So I did some simplification and figured out about how much of the peach LEES I would want to toss into my ice cream recipe, which is extremely simplified. We'll go over that in a second. And there wasn't going to be a whole lot of the LEES in it. And I had a lot of LEES, so I kind of wanted something to do with it. So I amped up those percentages. So for me, I did everything. I simplified it and did it by volume instead of by weight. I don't have an ice cream machine or maker, so I did it the old-fashioned way, which maybe you guys have done in school too, where you mix it in a bag and then shake it up in this bag of ice and salt. That is exactly what I did. And I followed a recipe that I found on Delish, but I made 4 different ice creams. One ice cream had no LEES in it. This was my control to see, can I make good ice cream? And then the other 3 included 10, 25, and 50% of the peach LEES in the recipe. Here's what I did. So in each bag, I put in a 1/4 cup of milk, a 1/4 cup of heavy cream because I didn't have half and half on me, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. I sealed up one of those bags and it was good to go. The next bag, I added in 2.5 teaspoons of the peach wine LEES. Sealed that up, set it aside. The third one, I added 2 tablespoons of the peach wine lees. Again, sealed that up, tossed it aside. And the last one, I added a 1/4 cup of the peach wine lees. I mixed all of them as best I could just by massaging the bags. And then I tossed all 4 of them into 1 gallon size bag with a bunch of handfuls of ice and a big heaping scoop of salt. And I shook this for 10 minutes. The instructions said to vigorously shake the bag. However, it is possible to shake it too vigorously because I did end up popping a hole in the bag and had to put that bag in another bag. The recipe said that after 7 to 10 minutes that the ice cream should be solid and ready to go. I should have split this up into 2 batches, maybe into 2 bags, and shook those simultaneously, because I don't think that they got cold enough. I don't think that there was enough ice and salt to get those mixtures cold enough. So I ended up scooping them out and putting them in these little cups in the freezer to set. Okay, straight out of the freezer, we got these ice creams. So we have the just vanilla ice cream, our control. It's vanilla ice cream. Yeah, I wish it was less icy, but I think that was entirely because I made it in a bag. But otherwise, yeah, it's great. And then going from that one immediately to the 10% peach wine lees, you see a huge flavor profile shift to the peaches with a little bit of that yeasty thing. It's not off-putting, and the peaches are definitely more like peach cobbler. Now if we go from there to the 25%, I really enjoy the texture of that. It feels like it still brings the same amount of peach flavor, but now with a little bit more of those other flavors that you pick up in the peach wine. So some of those almost citrusy notes, like almost a little lemon juice. Again, it's that peach cobbler thing, and there is that yeasty quality to it. And then the 50%. The 50% seems to be a little bit more, I should say a lot more icy. And there's almost this like peanut butter like texture. There's a little bit of oiliness, but it does have some grainy quality to it, and a lot more of the kind of like grungy, yeasty flavors. The 50% is nice in theory, and I'll probably definitely eat this. But I don't think I will do the 50% again. I think somewhere between the 10% and the 25% is really going to be my sweet spot. Maybe I'll do the 10 and the 25 again, and maybe I'll try a 15 and a 20%, and see if I can find a happy medium in there where I'm making sure I'm getting enough of that peach flavor, but not so that it's overwhelmed by these LEES characteristics. I don't even know if that's a thing. This like winey thing that almost detracts a little bit from the vanilla flavor. Ideally, I'll use as much peach LEES as I can in the ice cream so that I can maximize, you know, upcycling that. So I had Jerry try them, of course. He gets to benefit from all my experiments here. Yes, he called the ice cream that didn't have any LEES in it good ice cream.
Tastes like a great vanilla ice cream.
A great vanilla ice cream?
Yeah, it's really good.
Which is great. What a compliment. Again, I made it in a bag. And then he was really surprised by how much flavor of the peach flavor came through on the batch that had 10% of the peach wine LEES in it.
Wow. Like a peach wine ice cream.
He essentially thought that the 10 and 25% wine LEES were pretty close to one another, and he couldn't really differentiate between the two.
Tastes similar to 2, I would say. Oh, delicious though.
Do you have a favorite?
2 or 3, I think. Wow. These are really good though.
Overall, I'm very pleased with how these turned out and how the ice cream turned out. Maybe I'll even get an ice cream maker. We'll see. Of course, I want to give a huge shout out to the Patreons. Thank you guys so much for helping to support the channel and for being a part of our neat community over on Patreon. If you, the viewer, would also like to support the channel beyond just giving us thumbs up and subscribing and everything, I've got a link in the description below where you can join our neat community on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, leave me some comments below, and share it with friends. And if you make any wine at home, save your LEES and try this recipe out and let me know how that turns out.